If you feel tired even after sleeping, this is not in your head. And it's not because you're lazy, unmotivated, or getting older. Most people are taught to blame stress. They blame work. They blame lack of sleep. They blame mental overload. But none of that explains why so many people wake up tired even after a full night of rest. There is something much more basic happening inside your body. Something quiet. Something that develops slowly, without pain, and without warning. Your energy depends on how efficiently blood reaches your tissues. Blood is not just something that keeps you alive. It is the system that delivers oxygen and nutrients to every single cell in your body. When that delivery becomes even slightly less efficient, the body does not shut down. It adapts, and adaptation feels normal. That's what makes it dangerous. You don't feel sick. You don't feel weak in an obvious way. You simply feel less energized than you used to. Over time, that becomes your new baseline. You stop remembering what real energy felt like. You stop questioning why mornings feel heavier, why your body feels slower to start moving, why your motivation fades for no clear reason. You push through the day. You rely on caffeine. You accept tiredness as part of adult life. But this kind of fatigue is not psychological, and it's not emotional, it's physical. When blood flow is even slightly reduced, cells receive less oxygen. Less oxygen means less energy production. Not in the future, not years from now, right now. Because this change happens gradually, the brain does not recognize it as a threat. It registers it as normal. That's why so many people feel tired without being able to explain why. Nothing hurts. Nothing seems clearly wrong. But something is quietly limiting how much energy your body can produce. When circulation becomes less efficient, the body does not react with pain or sudden symptoms. It reacts with adjustments. That's something most people don't understand. The body is designed to survive, not to alert you every time performance drops. So instead of sending alarms, it reorganizes priorities. Energy is redistributed. Resources are conserved. Non-essential functions receive less support. And this happens quietly. People experiencing reduced blood flow often describe similar sensations, even if they don't connect them to circulation. Heavy legs, especially at the end of the day. Cold hands or feet, even in warm environments. A feeling of mental fog that comes and goes. Lower stamina during physical effort. A constant sense of being drained, even on days that are not stressful. These sensations don't arrive all at once. They build slowly. And because none of them are dramatic, they're easy to normalize. You don't wake up one day exhausted. You simply feel a little less energy than before, then a little less again. The body adapts by entering what could be described as an energy-saving mode. Blood flow is prioritized toward vital organs. Muscles receive less oxygen. The brain operates with reduced efficiency. Repair and recovery slow down. This doesn't feel like illness. It feels like life becoming heavier. That's why many people say they sleep enough, but still don't feel restored. Sleep helps the nervous system rest, but it cannot fix a delivery problem. Stimulants may increase alertness for a short time, but they don't increase oxygen delivery. They don't change circulation. So the boost fades and fatigue returns. Again, the problem isn't rest. And it isn't motivation, it's efficiency. Energy can only exist where oxygen and nutrients are delivered properly. And when delivery becomes less efficient, the body compensates by slowing things down. This is not failure, it's protection. The body chooses stability over performance. And that's why people can live like this for years, feeling fine, yet never fully energized. Low blood flow does not mean that something is broken or failing inside your body. That's an important distinction. In most cases, it means your body is managing limited efficiency. The human body is not designed to alert you every time performance drops slightly. It is designed to keep you alive. So when circulation becomes less efficient, The body adapts instead of stopping. That adaptation is subtle. Energy output is reduced. Physical drive lowers. Mental clarity becomes inconsistent. But none of this feels dramatic. And that's why it's so easy to ignore. Fatigue appears slowly, almost invisibly. You don't suddenly feel exhausted. You simply feel less capable than before. Less motivated to move. Less sharp mentally. Less resilient under pressure. This is not random. Before pain shows up, the body always reduces energy first. Because energy is expensive. Maintaining high energy requires efficient oxygen delivery, nutrient transport, and circulation. When those systems are not working at their best, the body chooses conservation. And conservation feels like tiredness. That's why fatigue is often the earliest signal the body sends, not the final one. Long before tests change, long before symptoms become obvious, long before anything looks abnormal. The problem is that modern life teaches people to override fatigue instead of listening to it. More coffee, more stimulation, more pushing through. But ignoring fatigue doesn't remove the signal. It only delays understanding it. The body continues compensating quietly, and compensation can last for years. This is why so many people say they feel okay, yet never truly energized. They are functioning, but not thriving. Their body has adapted to lower delivery efficiency. And because that adaptation feels stable, it becomes the new normal. Energy is often misunderstood. People think energy comes from motivation, discipline, or mindset. But the body doesn't work that way. Energy is not created by willpower. It is produced inside cells, and it depends entirely on what those cells receive. Oxygen, nutrients, blood flow. When circulation is reduced, even slightly, cells receive less of what they need. And when cells receive less, the body lowers output. This is not weakness. It is regulation. The body always adjusts energy production to match delivery capacity. That's why chronic tiredness is never meaningless. It doesn't mean something terrible is happening right now. It means the system is operating below optimal efficiency, and the body is protecting itself by slowing things down. This is why blaming age doesn't make sense. Age does not suddenly reduce energy. Efficiency does. This is why blaming stress is incomplete. Stress affects circulation, but it is not the root of the problem. This is why blaming lack of discipline misses the point entirely. You cannot will oxygen into cells. You cannot motivate blood to flow better. Before judging yourself for feeling tired, it's important to understand what your body is communicating. Fatigue is not laziness. It is not weakness. And it is not failure. It is information. It is the body's way of signaling that delivery is no longer matching demand. And when that message is ignored for too long, compensation becomes permanent. Understanding this changes the way you see tiredness, not as something to fight, but as something to interpret. Because energy does not disappear randomly. It fades when delivery becomes less efficient. And fatigue is simply the message that something deeper deserves attention.